Hello, everybody. This is Martha Alter Hines, and I am here today with Box, my cat, to introduce you and welcome you to the last week of Rebecoming the One 2023. So in this video, I want to give you an overview of what's coming up this week, the talks that we have coming up, the amazing panel discussion we have coming up, the amazing talks we have coming up. All the free talks are just wow. The panel discussion is wow. And the workshops we have coming up, which are also wow. So we're ending this symposium of Rebecoming the One in a really powerful, beautiful way. And I also want to drop in a little bit to my sense of how the spirit world is calling me in this time, and as I'm holding the space for the symposium and just this healing in our world, etc. And I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what has been arising for you, if you have been part of the symposium up till now, or even if you're just finding it and discovering it and now joining. You can be joining the symposium. Actually, it's running live in June of 2023, but it's going to be available for free indefinitely. So if you're hearing this video anytime in the future, please sign up in the link with the description of the video, and you can still have access to all the free talks, all the workshops, all the panel discussions, etc. And it's just, so many amazing resources and conversations. So please do that if you haven't signed up yet. So this last week of Rebecoming the One 2023 is called Bringing Us All to Wholeness, Rebecoming the One. And so the way that we started out was a series, a set of 5 talks that were about, in the beginning of June, the first 5 free talks were on the theme of the context of our healing. So some really, really beautiful talks, with people like Heather Ensworth and Melanie Reinhart, etc. Okay. Then we had a week on the divine feminine. Then we had a week on the divine masculine. And then this past week, we had a week on the divine person, or we realized maybe we want to call it the divine being. And now we're coming to the last week, which is focused on bringing us all to wholeness, Rebecoming the One. So basically tying it all together, right? So just in a brief sense, what I've been feeling over this month is a lot of really beautiful things arose, and also a lot of pretty difficult things arose in a certain sense. In particular, I would say in the week on the divine masculine, there was a lot of conversation and a lot of things that arose that really highlighted to me the polarities of our world and the polarities that are associated with this healing that we're all wanting to do with regard to gender and sexuality. And in this time, astrologically right now, again, this is June 2023, Pluto is getting closer and closer and closer to this squaring the nodes of the moon, which is deeply powerful, and I feel it as a lot of astrologers are talking about it being a choice point for humans and for life in a certain sense. And I feel it as this deep soul level turning point where we're being held to be the caterpillar going into the chrysalis, turning into the goop, becoming the butterfly, etc. And I feel it really, really strongly that we have a choice to either do that, go into it, surrender to love, essentially, or not. And sometimes maybe we even want to, but for whatever reason, it's difficult. And I'm speaking here from my own personal experience right now. So I'm not blaming anybody or anything. It's really, I've been feeling it myself. So, and in my the video I put out a couple of days ago on the full moon that's coming up on July 3rd, I talked more about my feelings on that, but I just essentially feel like when we are encountering these polarities and, you know, the layers of karma associated with those polarities, that our world has experienced a huge amount of trauma and pain over centuries, millennia, and I would say there's no sector of life, including humans, that hasn't experienced some of that pain, probably. I mean, I can't speak for everything, but I would say most types of humans at least have felt some or experienced some kind of trauma or pain. And I would say maybe most forms of life on our planet. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, there's been a lot of pain and suffering. Just, yes, there has been. So I don't think any of us would deny that. And so when we explore the polarities of like the divine feminine, the divine masculine, what I'm noticing in this collective space is that a lot of that karma and that pain is what arises. Not only that, but that's definitely been prevalent in the conversations, in the comments on the videos, and just my own experience of navigating it all. So that's just interesting. I wasn't expecting that before this month. And yeah, when I pray on it, I just get brought back to this need to choose love over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm really excited and, you know, on a personal level, really looking forward to this last week of Rebecoming the One, because I just think it's fascinating the way that this symposium is structured, because it wasn't me, I was guided, you know, in how I structured it. And so again, we started with context of our healing, then we went into the polarities with the divine feminine, divine masculine, then we came to the divine being, the divine person that brings together our masculine, feminine, non-binary, gender fluid selves, which felt really soothing and healing to me after feeling the polarities that were arising, especially in the divine masculine week. This past week on the divine person felt so good, so peaceful and sweet and kind. And I needed that. My heart needed that at that moment. So, and yeah, and then this bringing us all to wholeness, rebecoming the one. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see together how that unfolds. But I feel it as this powerful potential to really hold space for what we and our world and life is needing, which is, yeah, to be held in this moment where we have this turning point, really, and where we can choose love in every moment, and we in a sense have the opportunity and the, it's not just like a one-time choice in a lot of ways. I don't think, for me, it feels like it's a constant continual over and over and over again choice. Like my mantra right now, come back to love, come back to love, come back to love, choose love. I choose love. I choose love. Yeah, and sometimes easier said than done. So okay, so yeah, I want to tell you on a practical level what's coming up this week, because it's, again, pretty darn amazing. Okay, so the free talks, there are 7 free talks this week, and I'll just list them for you. There are going to be 3 of those 7 talks are by astrologers, each pretty phenomenal conversations. And so one of them is by Kelley Hunter. This, I can't even explain to you how amazing that conversation was. Wow. So any of you who are interested in astrology, or even not, listen to that talk. Well, all of these are amazing, right? But so the talk by Kelley Hunter is on cosmic couples. And so if you aren't familiar with Kelley, she is really well known for various things in the astrology world, but especially she's really well known for her conversations or her knowledge of the Kuiper Belt objects, which I happen to be obsessed with. This was a really big treat for me to have this conversation with her. And she gave her own sense of kind of, for her, was like a new way of exploring the dance of feminine and masculine in astrology. And so we talked about, her sense of the quote unquote cosmic couples, from Mars and Venus all the way up to Mytrae and Varda, who are my favorite. Should I have favorites? Oh, well, honestly, I do. I really love Mytrae and Varda. So in that conversation, we talk about Mars and Venus, Cheroklo and Chiron, Neptune and Salacia. I talked about Salacia a lot in the video I just did on the upcoming full moon, because that full moon is going to be squaring Salacia. So if you want to learn more about Salacia, go to my recent video on the upcoming full moon. And then so Neptune and Salacia, and Mytrae and Varda. I feel like I might be missing one of the couples, but in any case, it's an amazing, amazing, beautiful conversation. Highly recommend it. Okay, then kind of complementary to that one is a talk by an astrologer in Australia named Daniel Sowelu, who does, among other things, he's a therapist and an astrologer, and he takes people on tours to India, and a lot of his work is focused on tantric, like the Shiva Shakti inner journey. And so the conversation that I had with him, again, was like, on a personal level, super such a gift to me, because he talked about, in astrology, the asteroids associated with the Hindu gods and goddesses like Shiva, Parvati, Lalita, Kali, on and on, right? And and we had an amazing conversation. I didn't even know these asteroids existed, and I was amazed. And so he talks about how, his similar to Kelley, kind of his sense of the various couples in astrology and how they can represent different aspects of our relationships to the sacred union within ourselves, and then in relationship outside of ourselves. It's a beautiful conversation. He also talked a lot about Lilith in there, actually, anybody who's interested in Lilith. Okay. And then the other astrological conversation is with Ari Moshe Wolfe, who is my original astrology teacher and really, really good friend of mine. And he we had a conversation about, it's called Me and Us, a deep dive into the Aries Libra axis. And Ari is just wonderful. Lots of you already know him, and he's just a beautiful human and a wonderful astrologer. And and actually this Friday, so his free talk is a deep dive into the Aries Libra axis. And he's talked specifically in that free talk also about the Pluto squaring the nodes and this whole phenomenon that I'm just referring to, because the nodes of the moon are about to switch signs in July of 2023, and Pluto will be exactly squaring the nodes exactly when the nodes switch. So powerful and so relevant to all the themes of this symposium. So definitely listen to that free talk. But then this coming Friday, one of the paid optional workshops is with Ari on the same topic, but diving more deeply into how you can look at that in your own astrological chart. And you don't need to know astrology to be there. If you happen to know astrology, great. But yeah, Ari and I will both be there, and Ari will look at some volunteer charts and just go more deeply into how is this potentially relevant for you. I mean, it's relevant for all of us, but for you specifically, how can you make sense of it? So that's gonna, I'm really, really excited. That workshop will be the very last workshop we're having in this whole symposium. It's going to be at 3 p.m. Pacific this coming Friday. And it will be recorded just like all the other workshops. And so you can be there live or not be there live and have it indefinitely. Okay. And then we have 4 other free talks this week that are not related to astrology. And we have a conversation with Anne Bromley, who is wonderful, wise being who lives in England. And her talk is on sacred leadership, living and leading from inner wholeness. And so Anne does a lot of work with womb wisdom. So regardless of your gender or whether you have a physical womb, Anne really, her emphasis is on, in her work is on when we have this, I'll speak for myself, like I have a very, very powerful relationship with the divine, with source, with the spirit world. But I tend to go up and out, which is not bad. But what Anne talks about is that when we go up and out, there's then also a need to go down and in, and to access our relationship to the divine through the womb space, again, whether or not you have a physical womb. So that conversation is really beautiful. And Anne also will be doing one of the paid workshops, optional workshops this coming Friday. She'll be doing the first one on Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, to go more deeply into your own personal relationship with that womb wisdom. I'm really excited about all these workshops, all these talks and all these workshops. So beautiful. And then the other 3 talks are all in their own ways about the inner sacred union. So Maura McBratney, also a really good friend of mine, she does a lot of work with something that a lot of you have expressed interest in, and I personally have a lot of interest in, about, how can we have our own relationships to our own inner feminine, our own inner masculine, and then do our own healing work inside of ourselves to come into balance and harmony, and healing of these energies as ourselves. And so Maura's free talk is us exploring that conversation, and also exploring some things around sacred sexuality. Really beautiful conversation. And Maura is doing the other paid optional workshop this Friday, focusing on similar topics. And so that will be at noon Pacific time this Friday, June 30th. But again, all of these are recorded. You can come live or have the recording. And then another really close friend of mine, Barbara Juniper, the conversation we had was on the sacred union, inner, outer, and beyond. And so what Barbara brings in is her perspective as being a Dharma leader in a Tibetan Buddhist tradition. And again, just really, really beautiful conversation about the different levels of that sacred union, and how that manifests and how it can support us as we come into this wholeness and re-becoming the one in ourselves and in the world. And finally, last and very not least, is a conversation that I think actually changed my life. I mean, I had some major epiphanies during this conversation with Mytrae Meliana, also a really, really beautiful friend of mine. And the title is Tantra and Sexuality, but Mytrae is from India. She grew up in India. She moved to the United States when she was 16. And Mytrae is just an incredibly deeply powerful, humble, beautiful being. And so we had, just, it was like the meeting of souls. Our conversation was like, wow, what just happened? So I highly, 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 highly recommend that conversation. All of these this week is just like whoa, soul level, mind-blowing kind of conversations. And cannot miss this part. This Thursday, June 29th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. if you're in the UK, 7 p.m. if you're in Central European time. Live and recorded will be the last of our panel discussions. This panel discussion, I mean, all of them have been wonderful. This one is, I'm feeling the power of it. I can't even explain. We'll see how it is, but wow. The people who are on it are, just really, really something. So it's going to be co-facilitated by me and Heather Ensworth. And then the people on the panel itself are Melanie Reinhart, Baumann Brunke, Anne Bromley, Ari Moshe Wolfe, Maura McBratney, Mytrae Meliana, and their total of Anne Bromley. Did I already say Anne Bromley? Total of seven of us all together. I hope I'm not forgetting somebody there. But anyway, you get the idea. These people are just, whoa. Not to be missed, like for real. I feel this panel discussion as more than really feeling like it's meant to be a discussion. I feel like it's meant to be like a deeply powerful holding of space for this moment that we're in on the planet, and in existence of but yeah, I really feel like we're in this choice point. I feel like as Pluto is squaring the nodes of the moon in particular, there's extra potential for the polarities of life, the polarities of the karma of our world to arise and to be extra present in a certain sense and to feel pretty difficult potentially. And I feel like our world needs extra support to just be held so that we can stay grounded, stay centered, stay aligned, stay truly in that way of being love, choosing love in every moment. How do we do that, right? It often, like I said, easier said than done. And so I feel like this panel discussion is more than being a conversation. I really, really feel that it is meant to be some incredibly beautiful, powerful beings who these people are. They just are, collectively holding space with us, for our world, for existence, as we navigate this moment, this choice point, this evolutionary imperative, this kind of birth canal moment coming up out the other side. Yeah. So please be there live if you can. I think it's going to be really, really healing, really powerful, really beautiful, and very needed, probably by lots of us. And if you feel called, absolutely be there live. You can always submit questions, requests for topics or whatever it is. But yeah, please be there live if you can. So okay, so I'll give you the outline of this week. So I now am putting up all of the free talks. They're up and live. You can access all of those now. I'm putting that link with this video. And I'm creating this video on Saturday, June 24th. So I'm actually putting these videos up early because people have been requesting it. And so I am. Actually, I put them up last night. I just haven't announced it yet, but they're there. And then Wednesday, just like all the other Wednesdays, there are going to be 2 live, not recorded. The only part of this whole symposium that's not recorded is these 2 live community sharing circles, one at 10 a.m. Pacific, one at 6 p.m. Pacific. Daniel Sowelu, who has the free talk on the Shiva Shakti asteroids, he's going to be present. He's going to be with us for the sharing circle on Wednesday at 6 p.m. He's in Australia. So for those of you in Australia, that 6 p.m., if you're in Eastern Australia, I believe that is 11 a.m. your time if you're in the Melbourne area, or the Melbourne eastern side of Australia. So it's 11 a.m. for you, 6 p.m. for Pacific. But Daniel will be there for that sharing circle on Wednesday. And again, it won't be recorded, so you can feel free to share whatever you want to share. Okay, then Thursday is going to be this live panel discussion, again, co-facilitated by Heather Ensworth and me, and the panel of amazing beings. Okay, definitely come to that live. It's free. Yes, come to that live, but it'll also be recorded. And then Friday, June 30th, we will have the very last hurrah of this whole symposium with 3 beautiful, powerful live and recorded workshops, one with Anne Bromley, one with Maura McBratney, and one with Ari Moshe Wolfe. So you can sign up for those either individually, or you can sign up for the whole all-in-one bundle if you feel called to support the work of this symposium. Definitely, we really, really do appreciate that kind of support. The all-in-one bundle is a really wonderful way to support the time and the effort and the energy that's gone into this. Really, I've been planning this for 6 months, more than 6 months, but I've been putting it, pretty much full-time work into it for about 6 months. So, and all the other speakers also put in a lot of time, and it would be great to feel supported in that, in whatever way feels right for you. Yeah. And just your presence. I mean, even if you're not able to contribute in any way financially, that is, truly, truly, truly wonderful to have so many people signed up for this and participating and commenting and being involved in the conversations and coming live to the workshops. I mean, to the panel discussions and the workshops and the everything. I really appreciate all of it, every single way. Yeah. So as we go into this week and this time beyond, I just would love to take a moment to help us to each ground into the light of the earth, the light of source, the light of our own hearts. And yeah, I'm sending so much love and blessings as we move into this final week of Rebecoming the One 2023 together. And as we move through this birth canal, through this time of being the collective caterpillar in the chrysalis and becoming the butterfly that I think none of us can really know how that looks, what it is, and yet here we are doing it together. So thank you so much for being here. Please be in touch anytime for any reason. And I send you lots and lots of love. Big hugs. And see you soon. Hopefully on especially Thursday at the panel discussion. Definitely be there if you can. It's going to be amazing. Okay. See you soon.